Ryan agrees with me. What do you got to say now?
But
Nothing.
again,
you were going to say something.
Did you guys? But you're interrupting me because you're like Captain Interrupting today.
Captain Interrupting.
Yeah.
What does he look like?
He looks like you.
Oh.
Exactly like you.
Hello and welcome to the Invincible Podcast, probably the best superhero podcast in the universe. This is a show where friends get to sit around and talk all things Invincible, a comic book by Robert Kirkman. On today's episode, we're going to be talking all about issue 136, which came out on May 17th, 2017, last week for us. And joining me to talk all about it is Bill.
Hi, everyone.
And TJ.
Hello.
What's going on, guys?
Not much.
Stuff.
We just
Lots
had
of
a
stuff.
nice long discussion about Alien Covenant.
And Step Brothers and Anchorman 2.
Yeah,
Just movies.
And how they're all actually within the same universe.
it was fascinating.
It's fascinating.
Fascinating. A couple things before we get into the new issue discussion. We're going to talk some news items. The Invincible Ultimate Collection Volume 11 should be out now if you're hearing this. It comes out tomorrow as of this recording, but as of you hearing this, it should be out now, which is exciting.
Which is what the girls have to read, right?
Which is perfect, right?
Because they're almost caught up to now.
Yes, New Reader Volume 10 was last episode on this podcast. It was one of my favorite episodes we've ever recorded.
Good fucking episode.
Thank you.
It was a good episode.
I thought we did really good on that.
So then one more, and then
So
there's
yeah,
no more
they
new
literally
reader.
they literally are going to read Volume 11 probably this week. I think I'm going to try and get it to Liz this week, Bill. And that volume ends with Cory Walker's arc.
You know what?
Halfway through that arc is him coming back from and it being 6 years later
We're going to lose a lot of fans.
because no more
So
new readers.
many people
Or
love
we're
the
going
new
to gain
reader.
more because we're just going to throw them on all the other episodes now. We don't know what we're doing yet. Whether or not the girls are going to come on new reader or new issue episodes.
I mean, they're
or
going to come on new reader episodes or new issue episodes for sure.
Should they
but
come on every single one,
We're
or
gonna
should we
make
just
a new segment. If you have ideas,
Do you think...
Shoot us some
do you-
ideas.
Ryan, do you think we should tell TJ now?
I mean, that's up to you.
I think we should tell him now.
All right,
Live.
go for it.
oh boy, is
Yeah.
the Invincible podcast ending because I'm not going to be here and
You've
you're going
been
to lose all
replaced.
your fans? Because
You've been-
nobody likes you guys. Nobody likes
You're
you.
interrupting me!
Listen, I run the Facebook page,
Captain Interrupting.
and they all message me and tell me how much they hate you.
No, we're not replacing you, TJ. Yeah, we don't know what we're doing yet, so we'll see. I mean, it's still exciting because we still have Ultimate Collection Volume 11. That should be, I don't know if that's going to be next episode or what, but we'll see. So yeah, Ultimate Collection Volume 11 will be out. That'll be fun. I'm excited to see all the artwork in the back. That's always the best thing about those hardcovers. Also, Free Comic Book Day was that last week, 2 weeks ago?
It was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago from the
From the
time
new-
that they're hearing this. Probably.
Yeah. The I Hate Image free comic book came out.
A little disappointing, Invincible wise.
Yeah, I mean,
Not
it's
just a little,
It was
a
cool
lot.
that he got to be on the cover. He's literally like the top of the pile on the cover of the issue, and then he has a very, very, very small appearance in the actual issue. But it was a hilarious issue. I thought
Yeah,
it was
it was
really
very
cool.
good.
The thing
Very
that
good
they
comic.
focused more time on was The Walking Dead,
Of course,
Obviously.
which was hilarious.
some saga. There's a good
Some
amount of saga.
Yeah, there's some saga in there. There's like
Spawn.
maybe a page of Spawn. And then...
But
And then killing all the writers, Robert Kirkman.
yeah, no, I thought it was really
Brian
cool.
K.
Speaking
Vaughan.
of Saga is coming out this
Next week.
Is it next week?
I think it's next week.
Is
it
it?
was the
I
end
thought it
of
was
May.
July.
It's like
It
the
was still
30th.
in May.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was still oh yeah, the 30th fall. I'm thinking
Yeah.
business week, so my mind is like the last week of
No.
May is
And I'm
And Ryan, you're
finally
caught
caught
up?
up on Saga.
Oh, very nice.
100% caught up.
Yes, I told you. Remember, I was sending
that
you.
last issue. That's right.
Oh man,
That's right.
I told TJ, you're not caught up on Walking Dead, right?
I caught up and then fell off the last
Yeah.
couple issues.
So I won't give any spoilers, but Bill, I read that Walking Dead issue and that Saga issue like back to back.
Yeah.
So it's just been that was a rough day.
That
Someone
was-
like
that was
find
an-
out that they're pregnant in 136,
That was an
not
amazing
136.
issue
What is it?
of Saga.
166.
Like just how I
And Walking
love
Dead,
I
they're both
love
good.
I love how comics take how can I put this? Like the art, the last couple pages are just black.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To make you think about it. And I love
I'm so disappointed that I read it digitally.
I know. You know
I
what it's
really
like?
am.
You know what it's like? It's exactly like that the Red Wedding in Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
when it ended and there was no music.
Oh yeah.
And it's just so they didn't do anything, they just didn't put
Yeah.
any music, but it's
I
so
know.
subtle, but it makes you just
Yes.
oh
Yeah.
like it
Imagine
was
reading
like
the
that.
actual comic and like thinking that you have a couple more pages to go, like I'm good, and
Yeah.
then turning the page and it being like,
Black.
and then flipping
it's-
and flipping.
Wasn't
and
it like
it's all
8?
black.
Like it's just enough
It
to make
was-
you
It was
like
5.
yeah, it was-
5 pages.
How do you know?
It was 5 pages black because I have it in my.
You read
have it-
Saga?
He's caught up.
Are
there,
you
too.
kidding me? I invented Saga. At the day after Otley suggested it to us in our interview, I was the first one to pick up Saga. You're welcome. You are motherfucking welcome. And then it
Welcome.
was Ryan, and then it was you last. There, sweetie pie.
When did you finish
Honey
the last
bunches
episode?
of oats.
When did you Oh, how dare you?
Fucking got him.
That's what Liz calls me.
Really? I didn't know that.
That's why
You
I said,
just
how
randomly
dare you?
pulled
I-
honey bunches
yes,
of oats out.
Yes,
and that's
I
what
had no idea
Liz
she
calls
calls you
Bill?
that. Yes.
Huh. Interesting. I have some questions for Liz. Captain interrupting.
Maybe you.
Maybe you're interrupting this
Maybe
marriage.
you should.
Okay, all right.
All right, back
Also,
to-
that came out on the 10th was the official release of the colored version of the Gwinvincible variant for issue 135. So hopefully you got your hands on one of those. If not, you should be able to find one online or somewhere. But looks great. It's a cool cover. I love how it looks like it's a Marvel issue.
It wouldn't be an Invincible comic if it wasn't delayed
Well,
some way,
Sometimes.
shape, or form.
well, that was a shipping error. They
Doesn't matter.
accidentally shipped. Oh, true. Other than that, stick around. After we do our discussion on 136, we're going to be sitting down with Corey Puga, who was our, fan spotlight for the week. And, yeah, you guys ready to get into this?
I'm so ready.
Issue 136, part 4 of 12. Probably the best cover to date. It's just blood-soaked.
Because it's what Otley does best.
Yeah, I
mean,
love
it's what he's known for.
Mark's face is incredible, and I love after you've read this issue, seeing this cover and seeing the huge dome above them of Eve's like pink orb adds more meaning to it. It's pretty cool. So, did you notice that the I don't know what the official name for this page, but the page with the what do you call that? The credits. Robert Kirkman, Ryan Otley, Nathan Fairbairn, like all of the credits. The second page when you open up, it's the wrong background cover. So they like grayscaled or whatever you call it, the wrong image. That's actually last issu's
Yeah.
image.
Huh.
Oh,
Have
interesting.
you pulled up other comics to see
Oh
if
yeah,
it's
it's always the current issue.
interesting?
Just a print error. I'm not sure if they did that in
Print
the
what?
print error.
Error.
I want my money back.
Yeah, I know it's terrible. Okay, here we go. Last issue ended with him saying finally. And
Another like page 1, like very cool page. Which maybe I should be called Cap'n called it. Cap'n motherfucking called it.
Well, I was right.
I don't see we surrender on
surrendering.
page 1.
Alan said it like under his breath.
Oh,
and
okay.
then
They
capture
just forgot
the-
to put it in.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's what she said.
we surrender.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be
Thrag-
kind of funny
Thrag-
actually if that happened.
Thrag's awesome stance there, and he's just calling out, telling everybody to attack, and this is what we see. I mean, again, you can zoom in on this or look closely if you're reading physical and see there's Alan punching somebody's head off. There's Eve.
Oh, there's a ton of
Over
detail
there.
in the background.
The
That's-
detail, I mean, we're going to say the word detail probably 30 times in this issue, but
Because this was like Ryan Otley stole this issue. He said we talked to him on Twitter.
2 months.
He said that he spent the longest on this issue than any other issue of Invincible.
Of course, again, he was inking it too.
Yeah,
He clarified
right.
that it was also because
What's weird is that I know that you responded to him and you said what's the
than
second
75.
75, and he said that one's probably second place. But my initial thought would have been 99. It was all full spreads every single page.
Do you think that takes longer though?
I think it does. I don't know. Maybe not.
I don't know.
I don't know.
You know what? I'm finding the more that I look at this comic, because I've read this like 4 times.
Yeah.
To catch all those little things, there's amazing depth in these comics. Like if you look at
And
the
a lot
color
of that is the coloring too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
dude.
Like the way that you looking, it looks like he's looking through glass.
Look at Eve
and
in the
everybody's
background. Like
faded.
that's crazy.
That's so Ryan,
Otley.
Ryan Otley.
Not me.
Because I know that you're listening. Well done, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Well
What's
done.
funny
I
is
have
that like
no
the day
complaints.
after this came out,
and sorry, just real quick. Felix Comic Art, the site that sells Ryan Otley's artwork, just posted today that they're going to be putting up more artwork soon.
Yeah, but did you see the ones that they're
it's
posting?
gonna end up being, if it's this
It's
issue,
all things that
wish,
I want, but are going to be way too expensive, and
know.
I can't have them.
I can't afford it right now.
The
But
ones
any-
that he's
any
posting, there could be
page-
other things,
Any
though.
page from this issue.
How much
gonna
are
be
they? Are their
insane.
prices?
I mean, the ones that he's posted is like the original art to that he did for the cover of like Ninja Turtles and
But that was
Spider-Man
just a
and
tease.
stuff.
There's going to be a lot. They said there's going to be 2 whole new issues on there, like whole
okay.
issues. So it's probably going to be this one and 35.
The day after this came out, when Bill and I saw Covenant, we went through all these, and Bill wanted me to pick out my favorite page. And
I
he
was
had
going to
his
want to do
favorite
that when we're
page.
done.
So when we get to Bill's favorite page, I'll let him go over it, and then I want to go over mine. So
I got to look at what mine is though. So
All right. So what I'm, I guess, glad about, I don't know, it catches you off guard, is that Thrag knew that he left them alive, but he had said no, just let them die. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But he was expecting it. He's like, oh, I didn't expect to see them so soon, but of course they're alive. Like the next page is Mark Grayson. Of course you're alive. Do you guys have anything else to say about that first page? The ship flying into the
oh
headquarters.
yeah, I love that.
And it's
Very
just-
impressive, and it interrupts him. The ship
Yep.
smashing into it. So was that just another, resistance ship like suicide bombing it, or was that? I mean, it looks like it's smoking, so maybe it was just crashing actually. Because it
I
does
don't
look
think
like it's
we'll-
damaged.
I think it's crashing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ironically, into Thrag's.
Yeah. Okay. See, I thought they threw it at him,
No.
but yeah, look at this. The detail on this
Okay,
this second page
this is
spread.
my
This
favorite
is
page.
Bill's favorite
Oh.
page.
This is my favorite page. If I could get that panel of not Thrag's face on the far right hand
well,
side.
it'd still be there, but yes, you're talking about.
Okay, so I have a fear of heights. And this fucking panel right here, I was like,
Gives you vertigo?
Oh, it gave me vertigo, dude. Like I could not believe the amount of the angle that it's at, the scale of Thrag and the buildings and stuff. I felt like I
Eve
was
down
fucking
there.
high up, dude. I could not believe Ryan Otley. Thank you. Like
Look at all these.
I want to
down
know.
there.
I want Ryan Otley to comment, or someone that's in the industry to comment. Like, how did he do this?
Yeah, that's
To
awesome.
have that much foresight to just know like the scales of everything and just all the detail that's going on. The Alan's in this one.
Eve's down there fighting.
Eve's down there, but just the angle. Like, doesn't it give you vertigo, dude? Did it give you
Thrag's
vertigo?
over there. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Love this panel.
For some reason, I don't know why, because I know that the last issue and the issue before we've seen Mark in his costume, but this moment I felt nostalgic to me, like, oh shit,
Very
he's back
iconic.
in his costume. Like maybe it's because he's like in action now,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah,
Yeah.
This was just a it was a much better issue than last issue.
I think
Overall.
this was the best issue
Well, yeah.
in an
I don't
extremely long
think
time
that's
because
a-
it's really getting back to like action and like, you know, yeah.
So, yep, he does say, Mark Grayson, of course you're still alive. Anything else to say about that? I mean, we kind of said that they were going to use this element of surprise. I mean, they kind of did.
But I wonder why Thrag just didn't kill him off in the last Cory Walker arc. When
Remember,
he left them torn in half. And
yeah,
stuff.
remember he wanted them to suffer and watch their daughter, or let their daughter watch them die.
Yeah,
It was
I know.
a very,
but if he,
that's a very supervillain type thing to be like, okay, I'm going to leave you alone
yeah, but if
to
he
die.
if he was smart enough to know, of course. Ooh, I wasn't. He said in the first page, I wasn't expecting this so soon, but he was expecting it. Maybe he thought the coalition. Like he expected the coalition to do something.
Oh
not
yeah,
Mark.
yes, that's probably it. And then
Okay,
right here
that
is
might
when
be
he
it.
says,
"Yeah, of course you're alive." That makes
and then
more
and
sense.
that also makes more sense when he says finally at the end of the previous issue. It's not finally Mark's and them are back. It's finally the coalition is
here,
attacking
so we
us.
can destroy them.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, he
Is
says.
this your favorite? Is this
so
your
he
favorite?
says. So Thrag calls upon everybody. It says,
Converge on me.
converge on me, and then we get that amazing spread.
My favorite page is the next page. This is my favorite page because
it.
it has all of the every single Viltrumite looks like either Mark, Oliver, or Nolan. Every fucking one of them. And I love that because they're all related.
They're not all related.
I don't agree because I don't think they do, and they're
Thrag's
not related.
to them at all, and all the insects that he was banging.
You don't think so?
No,
They're not- no.
I think that's just Ryan Otley's.
Stop.
Didn't he take like a part of Oliver?
No,
No.
it was just him banging all those aliens.
Banging all the aliens.
Oh, well, they all look like
I don't think
Mark.
they do.
You don't think so?
No,
I think even the women.
no, I think it just looks like Corey Walker's faces.
Corey Walker?
I'm sorry, Ryan Otley's art.
Oh, maybe.
I'm just, again, the scale.
But it looks like he has the power to just create these beings, and he's like throwing them at him.
It totally looks like he's throwing them.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I mean, TJ talked about the TJ. Me and Captain and Ruppin talked about this a little bit at Come
Captain
In,
called
but
it.
It kind of felt like Big Hero 6. Like the guy that can control the little
Yes,
microbots.
it does kind of. I love the fact that, like, first of all, okay, again, getting back to the detail he would have had to do, just look at the hairstyles alone. Like, look at the girls. Look at all the women Viltrumites. We've got pigtails, we've got ponytails, we've got long hair, we've got short hair. You know what I mean? Like, it's so cool. We got this one's in a bun. This guy's got his hair shaved. This guy's got long hair. He's
got shaved on the one side of his face. Mm-hmm. This guy's got a pointy chin.
Mustache.
This guy almost looks a little Asian. He does.
They all look different. He just didn't like copy and paste that shit. Like, this looks awesome.
No, he definitely didn't.
Oh my god, like, and that's the thing. Like, it's got to take so much time to get the scale right, to add the proper amount of depth. You know what I mean? So, and then to slowly make them get bigger so they look closer. You know, in the actual.
I think he starts big and then goes smaller.
You think so?
Yeah, because he has to draw the bigger ones first, and then
and then
overlap.
behind him. Yeah, layers behind. I don't know. So fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. Ryan, is this your favorite page?
No, I mean, I hate having to pick one. I mean, that seems like an obvious one, but I don't know.
If I could own a page out of this.
Was this the one that Nathan Fairbairn posted the process photo?
I don't know.
He did a process photo.
Like a time-lapse photo?
Not a time-lapse, but like, here's the pencils. Here's my first layer of coloring.
Cool.
Oh no, this is it was the very first panel is the one that he did the progress shot, or progress line, which is cool because that's the one we were talking about, the coloring. Look at the steps he goes through.
Oh.
Isn't that cool? I almost really like
black and white.
Well, yeah, so that's what he gets. That's the inked version. And then it almost looks like he does that first layer. Because it's obviously that he does digital coloring.
And then adds the shading.
Mm-hmm. And then
again, this looks great. If I saw this, I'd be like, oh, that's awesome. And then you just add that haze.
That haze to make it look like glass.
Which there's fucking a more of a glare on the glass there from the sun than it is over here. Look at that, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh no, it's from the explosion. I can't fucking believe it. That makes you appreciate it all the more.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want this back?
Sure.
Baby, come back.
So yeah, love that panel of him throwing his children into the fight. Alan saying there's just too many. We couldn't have anticipated that there would be so many.
Remember when one of us said it wasn't me? I was like, there's thousands. So I think it was you, Ryan, where you're like, there's like hundreds of them.
Oh, I said
that?
hundreds? I don't remember. But yeah, there's clearly thousands.
Millions?
Maybe millions.
Even?
No.
What?
Millions of them?
Yeah, dude.
I think there's definitely a couple, like 100,000s. There's not a million of them.
There are
I
a
don't
couple
think
hundred
there's even
thousand.
a
Could be
million.
500,000s.
I would say maybe 100,000.
There's a lot. But yeah, like Mark says, it doesn't matter.
Let's count them.
If anything, it helps. So Mark says, if anything, it helps. The plan still works. Stick to the plan. Remember that.
Captain motherfucking called it over in this side of the fucking table
How
over
about
here.
you not do spoilers right now? Because some people might be reading it along
Along
with us.
They don't know what I called. And no one's reading it.
Nobody's
I know
reading
this.
this.
I know this. I know this.
But yeah, Mark's saying it doesn't matter that it helps that there's so many of them. Then what was it? Alan says, focus on the fleet, protect our armada as best you can. We're going to need as many of them in working order as possible before we move on to phase 2. So again, we're talking about a phase 2 to Mark's plan here.
I wonder what it could be.
Which I feel like the last few issues have been all about this plan, and we've been trying to figure it out, and we're wrong about a lot of things. But we'll see. We're going to talk more about that as we go.
This guy. Not this fucking guy.
Yeah, not you, TJ.
Okay,
Well,
next
I
page.
still think that something that you called is still coming.
Yeah. Mark says, emphasis on don't die, and it cuts to Telescria. We've got Debbie hanging out with Haluma. They're talking about the school district.
What did you
everything
guys
like that.
think when it cut here? Were you like, oh no? Did you think
I
bad
honestly
things.
thought that she was flying. I thought exactly what happened. I thought she was just flying with the kids or something like that.
I thought for sure something terrible was going to happen.
Really?
As soon as I saw that it was here, I was like, oh no, there's Viltrumites coming.
Like they sent somebody there. No, I mean, I kind of assumed that, yeah, she, it was Tara in the other room. She flew into the ceiling. Debbie yells at her, talking, and, Tara talking about how boring little kids are and how hopefully she wasn't so
And she
as
must have
boring.
hated her. She must have hated her when she was a baby. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was cute.
Haluma is like distraught by this because it scared the shit out of her. She thought that something had happened to them, just like something had happened to Oliver, because Oliver was the one that kept her safe, and she just, she lost it, and she had to like leave the room.
Yeah,
So this was a
good scene.
this was that moment that, like we've talked about before, like was Tara not bothered at all by this? And even Mark and Eve brought it up a few issues ago or something when they left Tara with Debbie, saying like, hey, she saw things, like, are we going to talk about that? So this is kind of bringing home the fact that, yeah, she is kind of messed up with that. So it didn't just go in one ear and out the other. She's very troubled by it. She recalls exactly what happened to Uncle Oliver. Says that his wet parts were showing. It was sad and scary. And I knew as soon as she finished the sentence that she said, I'm sorry that he died. I hope that never happens to anyone ever. I was a little scared to turn the page.
Yeah.
Because that's a very Kirkman thing to do.
Oh, yeah.
To like set it up.
Even if not right now, if not like the next page, the next comic, that's foreshadowing for something.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we know
people
it
are
is.
going to fucking die.
Yeah, we know
I
as
mean,
the reader.
Sure, people are going to die.
Yeah, but
Do they have to, though?
But to turn the page and see Mark with guts on him
My second favorite
was
page.
this was when you guys said to pick a favorite page. This was it's
Looming.
close. It's very like
Now it turns more into a comedy for me.
really.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
it's
I
very
disagree.
it's very World War Z to me. I got a lot of World War Z vibes in this. Like
I feel like he could have been on the phone talking to somebody and just not taking any damage at all, which he clearly isn't because he's being pummeled by Viltrumites and
so.
What is happening down there? What is going on?
I'm going.
It sounds like you're shitting.
No.
And I'm pretty sure the mic can pick that up because
All right,
it's
all
like
right,
it's like really loud.
It's not me shitting. It's my finger playing with my shit as I'm shitting.
They're like
This so yes.
crushing themselves into him. They're killing themselves in order to get to him.
Yeah, I mean, are we going to talk about this here? Because now for the rest of the issue, I mean, turn the page.
That's
now,
what it is.
Yeah, they're bashing their head into Mark, and they're just crumbling. Like,
Look at the bottom of this page where her face is literally is off of her body and hanging in the air.
Oh yeah, it's like looking at you up there.
oh yeah, yeah,
It's like, hey, don't forget about me.
yeah. And they're just, and Mark's like saying, like, "What are you doing to yourselves?" And then you get that last panel of them doing that, like, flying zombies in World War Z type thing
into a building and like crushing it.
Hindu.
So, do you want to talk about this?
Yeah, this is like if Mark from issue 2 were to fight Mark now
Yeah.
and put everything he had into who's like,
Oh, he was great. He was.
I'm so strong, and then no, these guys are
Yeah,
not
no,
good.
I think that this is Mark from issue 2 if Mark was raised by Thrag and with a instilled a level of like trying to impress, trying to like this you're doing this for
You mean straight
You knew
Yes.
they were going to die. You or you're saying that they knew they were going to die.
they're doing this for him, yes. It's like die for your country. It's an honor.
Yeah. I agree with
And they're
that.
fighting for that honor.
I think that, but on a more physical level, what do you guys think of the fact that they are not phasing Mark and they're just destroying him? Like, at first it was a little jarring to me that, like, I don't know, it didn't seem right. It was like, why
This
are
is
they
why
so
That's
weak?
why
like,
that's why it turned into a comedy for me. Cause
This is
like,
why I didn't really like that episode, that issue, a couple issues ago where Mark is almost dead and Eve is almost dead, and then they're like, "Oh, we're good now, and we're a little bit stronger than we were before. I made you guys stronger." That's why I think that this is okay, but I don't really care for it. But
And
that's
now-
I don't
now
think
here's the
that
thing.
has anything
So-
to do with it. I think that's
they're
just
stronger now.
I agree with TJ. I think that they are a little stronger now. I think that it has a little to do with it. But I think on top of that, the other thing that I rationalize this with is they're like we've seen, like these, first of all, I'm pretty sure all the Viltrumites that are fighting them are wearing the white costume. Occasionally, you'll see one like Ursel, who's wearing the red and white. Those, I think, are the actual fighters.
Generals.
These, yes, I think these are civilians. I think that they have abilities. They're not strong. Think of when Nolan revealed the truth about the Viltrum Empire. They kill the weak. There are weak Viltrumites. There are the ones that, and Thrag says it in this.
Yeah,
they're culling the weak. Like, this is them, getting rid of them.
It's one of the smartest quotes in this comic, and we'll get to it.
Yeah.
But
so I'm okay with this. It looks awesome. I think it was jarring at first for us to be like, oh, here's this threat. Because all we had known was Anand and Ursel, who, as we know, were basically Thrag's like
right and
lieutenants.
left hand. Yeah.
Yes, like those were the guys. Like, of course, they were trained. We even saw in Corey Walker's arc, Thrag training some of them. Not these, like you said, Bill, millions, TJ, hundreds of thousands. Not all of them are going to be trained. Not all of them are going to have the same level of strength. These are the ones on their home planet, and he's just sending all of his kids after him to weaken them. So that's how I rationalized it. It was a little jarring at first, but I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with it.
Cool.
I like it.
Now we've got Eve.
Fucking ripping shit
Again,
up.
Eve normally wouldn't be able to stand a chance, I don't think, because she couldn't against Ursel. I mean, Ursel fought. I mean, she kind of, I went back to that issue. She kind of held her own against Ursel and ultimately kind of pushed her back a little bit with Mark's help. But she was like an even match. So how is she taking on hundreds here?
She's not really, but she's holding her own.
Yes, she's still...
Just like she
fights
did with
defensively,
Ursel.
which I like.
It's all defense.
Yeah. She's
She's
just
not
awesome.
strong. She has to fight defensively.
I loved her constantly. She constantly uses her orb. She uses her orb, then slips out the bottom, and then they chase after her again. She makes another orb, and they smash into it. And then Nolan saves her. Like, she's very rarely actually
Oh,
fighting.
I love that scene.
Okay.
Of Nolan flying through.
Yeah, you see the bubble burst in the background.
See the blood of the picture with Nolan flying.
Mm-hmm.
If you look, there's in that pocket of no Viltrumites. There's like blood, little
No,
pockets
that's-
of
no,
blood.
There's like a
that's-
little
no,
guy
that's-
on the floor.
No,
That's blood.
No, Bill, look at it on this right here. You're
That's
on
what
a
I'm
small
looking at.
device. It's pink. I think
It's-
that's her bubble
it's her
bursting.
bubble, I
It's
think,
shattering.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I thought it was just little things of blood
Mm-hmm.
from all the people that he flew through. But no, you're right because he's flying through in that other panel too.
But yeah.
All right, so next page. This is
Oh
gonna
my
kind of
gosh.
prove a point that
Oh,
we've
no,
been
this-
talking about for
this
a long
might be
time
my
that
favorite
I want
page.
that I want to go into.
This might be my favorite page.
I want to talk about this page and
Oh.
the next page in
Succession.
sequence. Okay. So, we always talk about the way me and Bill read versus the way that you read. You read the full page. Me
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and him read panel to panel. If
You mean
read
you're
this,
meaning digitally.
yes,
Yeah.
because we all buy this digitally the day it comes out, and then we get the comic later.
Mm-hmm.
So me and Bill read it digitally. Going through, you can see that Mark keeps staring at Eve, and then it goes
pounding
back
on
to
it.
Eve
Yeah.
fighting, and then back to Mark screaming Eve, back to Mark. Mark screams Eve. At this point right here, where Mark is screaming Eve, I literally put the book down. I put my iPad down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you
and
thought
I was
something
like,
happened?
she's fucking done.
That's why I
There's
read it.
no
that's
fucking
why I
way.
prefer to read it panel to panel.
But if
like
I
that.
were to read the entire page, I would know that that's not true. But I had to put it down. I was like, she's on the cover of the issue. There's no, like, why does he keep screaming up to her? Mm-hmm. And she's fighting and fighting and fighting, and she's starting to lose. She's about to die. And then I went to the next panel, and he scoops her up. That, like, my stomach dropped. I thought for sure she was dead.
But like you were saying before, Ryan, the panel of them smashing up against Nolan and him protecting him from Eve. And
It's like a wave of water crashing over him, and it just splattering
blood
like that.
of blood.
Also, they're coming from the corner of the page. Like, they're coming
Mm-hmm.
off the border.
Yeah, it does it a lot in this. Eve's coming out.
Yeah,
like
Eve's
there's
coming-
a lot
this
of those
might be my
3D
favorite page because the sheer like splatter and the faces and parts, and then I love when Eve puts on this armor. She did it in issue 91 when she went to the ship looking for sick Mark, and Thrag was there. And then she kind of had the swords again during Corey Walker's arc. But I love when she does this. Like, it looks so badass. But then again, you're right, TJ. Then when it goes from there into the whole, like, her fighting with Mark, seeing that she's fighting, because this is the first time she's actually, like, fighting, not just using the bubble. But yeah, I love that.
Can we not take away, like, I don't want to ever take away from the detail because I mean, we fly through this and stuff, but just that one panel of
The
him really
eyeball.
screaming. Yeah, the eyeball, the half of the head
No,
that's
here's
floating there, brain chunks. Like, it is.
Splork.
Here's the thing.
Splork.
I feel like there have
Splork
been
in
I feel like
blood.
there have been issues of Invincible and other comics where if there's a lot of action, you can tend to read it quicker.
Mm-hmm.
I actually didn't with this one because the action was so dense that it took a long time. It's almost like
Reading
words-
Where's Waldo. Were you just going to say Where's Waldo?
No.
Oh,
I
that's
was
what I
gonna
thought.
say, no,
That's
it's,
kind of what I was thinking.
Really? No,
Yeah.
it's almost like words would have slowed it down because they would have gotten in the way of all the detail that the detail was telling me, that I was like reading the detail as I would words. It was awesome. I loved it. So Mark saves Eve as they're crashing in on her. Now at this point he's dripping with blood, and here comes Ursula.
Look at the smoke. She's coming out of this explosion.
So badass.
She don't look happy.
No. Again, like this is the first time we're seeing a red suited Viltrumite.
And she. So then the next panel is Space Racer, fucking
Still alive.
still alive, shooting
Yep.
shooting some Viltrumites. I'm just Alan destroying
Alan.
them. And then look at her in the background. She's just watching.
Yeah, she stops and
And then
sees the
and
carnage.
then she flies away and she's calling Father.
with Nolan down there again, dripping, killing even more of them.
All right, we need to read this page.
She's saying they're breaking rank. We've got them on the run. This battle is won, but at what cost? And he's like, what? She says, my brothers and sisters are dying. They're throwing themselves at the enemy. It's killing them. Don't you see the body count? He grabs her by the throat and says, I see everything.
Here we go.
Go, Bill.
The fallen were weak, and it is our way to cast them off. Our empire was built with the strong. We will be stronger from this battle. It has tempered us. I love that word, tempered. It is not your place to question my will or my motives. If you feel such pity for the weak, let me know, and you can join them.
Yeah.
Him saying that the Viltrumite way is through temperament, like when you take steel and it's super weak and you hit it and beat it and make it hot again and make it harder. Like the thought of that, all these Viltrumites dying, because if you think about it, like when they were an actual empire, there weren't that many of them.
No.
Like there weren't. And they spent generations
They're probably
upon
close.
generations of killing each other off and having the strongest. So he
Yeah.
has to start from scratch.
Yeah.
That's what I like about this. It's not that Eve
And not only that, but they're not even pure blood Viltrumites. So
Well-
there might even be a little bit less of a weakness.
But
or,
still,
you know.
he's starting this Viltrumite way of life over again from scratch. So he needs to build up these ranks.
Yeah, so
there's
this
not
is why
any.
he's cool with this. He has no problem
It
with
has
this.
to happen.
And he put that bitch in her place.
Yeah.
Okay, let's turn the page and see Alan doing what I think is a spin. Do you think he's spinning around in a circle, like
Oh
with his
shit,
arms
you're
out?
right. Yeah, look at the smear of the blood on the bottom of the page.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's totally at least whipping his arms
He's-
around.
It looks like he's singing in the rain. Like you could
Oh,
totally
on
be
top
like,
of the hill?
singing in the rain.
It's like a
spinning
really
around.
high note, though. A really high note.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the carnage, the amount of detail in it. I just can't.
There's so many like heads that are completely severed in half.
Parts of heads. Look
You
at this guy.
can't-
This guy's at the jaw
know.
teeth. That's his tongue in the bottom.
And
of it.
eyeballs.
So Alan is saying that they need to retreat. There's too many of them. You know, we need to regroup while we still have an army left to fight with. Nolan says, yep. Nolan says, yes, we're retreating. It's over, you know. And then he's like asking all these Viltrumites, you know, how do so many of you have a death wish? Mark and Eve manage to fly away from the onslaught that are chasing them. And they say, you know, so far so good.
Yeah. Mark even that went pretty well. Oh no, Eve said that.
Yeah,
Well, that went pretty well.
So then back to Thrag and Ursula. Thrag says they think they can escape us. No, I will not allow them to lick their wounds and attack us again. We finish this now. Launch the fleet. Ursula says, yes, father. So now we get the this is it. This is the wrap up. I like Eve making the joke that best honeymoon ever.
And then Space Racer opens his stupid mouth. I've been monitoring the planet. All of their forces remain. Wait.
All of our
all of
forces
our
that
forces
remain have joined the fleet.
Yeah, that remained. Yeah, so something they
And then,
lost some.
do
you see,
excellent.
You see Ursula in the background walking in? I mean, she's on the next page too. Yeah. She was in the battle. We didn't really see it.
Ursel?
Not Ursula.
Oh, I'm sorry, not Ursula. Thresha.
Thresha.
So Thresha was in the battle. Maybe she was on a ship fighting, or maybe she was protecting something. But she's got a bandage over one of her eyes.
Yeah, she could have lost an eye. She's bandaged up pretty good.
There were lots of eyeballs floating around in this issue.
All right,
One
so
of them absolutely.
So
could
here
have
it
been
is.
hurt.
Thrag's forces are in pursuit. Your plan worked.
Alan saying to Mark.
Yes.
And,
that was rough back there, but yeah. And then Nolan says, we suffered some losses, but this is reassuring. Tell me, what is the stronghold we're leading them to?
We're leading them to Earth.
Yeah.
Mark says.
And it
I
ends.
kind of thought that, I mean, I assumed when
Although
they were.
you didn't think that.
No, I kind of assumed when they were. At this point, like halfway through the issue, when they flew back to the ships, they're like, "Oh, okay, they're
They
gathering."
have to
them.
introduce these old characters that we love.
Okay,
we have
now
to see Robot again.
Now I have questions.
Okay, let's do this.
So Mark's plan, he said, will save lives. He said instead of it causing multiple lives and destruction and everything like that,
like
will
it did
save-
last time.
Like it
It
did
will
last
save
time.
lives. What
And
are you
the-
talking?
Well, no.
I'm going off of what
Alan said last time this happened. It
last
didn't
time
turn
it
out
did,
so well.
and Eve was the one that said this time it's going to save lives.
Okay, Eve is who said it. How can they expect to bring this armada to Earth and more people not die?
Because only Vultramites are affected by the
Scourge virus.
Oh, I think they're going to use the
Yes.
Scourge virus?
I was kind of thinking
That's
that.
another reason why earlier in this issue they said there's way too many of them, and they said if anything that's a good thing. It's going to make our
It'll
plan
spread.
work better.
Oh, I was wondering what that meant.
Bloodow.
Yeah.
That makes sense, but I was
Did
thinking...
I send that to both of you,
but I
or
was
did I send it to
thinking
just
that-
you?
I thought we talked about it on the podcast last
No,
issue.
I sent it during
No?
text. I
We
was like,
didn't-
"Hey, what about the Scourge virus?"
Yeah, I think it was through text
because
we
I
did not talk
thought
about it.
that they would drop it at the beginning of this issue on the home planet and bounce.
Why not? Why wouldn't they
That's-
do that? Why take it back to Earth and then okay,
And
this
then
is going to
what-
save lives, but fucking bring it to Earth?
But the problem with bringing it to Earth is exactly that. Like now, all the Earthborn Viltrumites that are good guys potentially are.
That's why I don't think
infected.
it has to do with
So
the
it
Scourge
can't-
virus.
By the Scourge virus?
Yeah.
Isn't it only affected by Vultramites?
Yeah.
Right, but then all the Voltrumites on Earth that are the good Voltrumites will
Anissa,
die.
all of them.
Yeah.
And then, but their plan
So-
will
But they
save
have
lives.
back-
And
Backup,
Nolan
too.
would not be cool with that.
They have backup too on Earth with
What do
more
you-
Viltrumites.
What do you guys think of? How about this? Mark's going back to Earth. Who's in control of Earth right now?
Robot.
How many
Very
robots?
good.
Yeah,
And
good
he
job.
had-
How many
You answered
robots?
that. Robot.
How many robots are
Because
there?
this is what I was thinking. Robots Armada. I mean, he's got
Hundreds of thousands of
but he's got those
drones?
robots that like incapacitate because they in
That-
fact
that
they
have
do the inner ear
yes.
thing where it
So
stops
what if
Voltrumites.
Robot is if he's counting on Robot having
That's
thousands
what-
of drones with the signal?
That's what the plan is.
Because
That's what I
He
thought. As
couldn't
soon as,
get all those drones to this planet, so he has to bring them to Robot.
at least to neighboring Earth. You know what
Yeah,
I
at
mean? To
least
like
nearby.
Earth, or to like so Robot would be able to send them off.
That's the only thing I can think of. But at this
It's
point,
definitely the Scourge virus.
but at this
No, I
point,
don't
you
think
think
so.
so? At this
Yes.
point, I'm kind of.
You don't
I
think
don't-
it's the Scourge virus?
I
no,
think
I
it's-
don't. Because
You don't think that has anything to do with it? I think that's the
No.
only thing that lines up perfectly with everything that Eve said, what was said in this issue. I think it has to be.
I don't know. Like the last thing we knew of the Scourge virus was that. Was it the perfected strain? Trying to think of an issue.
the
I remember.
the coalition has it. So why
Yeah,
are they
I
going
know.
back to Earth?
Well,
they
I'm
probably
thinking-
have it on them.
I'm trying to think. Ellen, remember when it blasted Mark? Do you remember the scene in which Alan walked in and there was a perfected strain? No, you know what? That was before it blasted Mark.
Mm-hmm.
So that storyline might be done with the Scourge.
That's-
and not only that, but Mark beat it. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if they need to do it again. I agree. TJ, I was the one that thought that
So
it could
what
be
are you-
Scourge,
what are you
but
thinking?
now I'm thinking it's more Robot.
Robot.
And
It's
his
all
That
his
it's
robots.
just
and
Robot.
his signal on each of the drones. Again, though,
What do you mean
like
a
I was,
signal doing what?
the one that incapacitates the inner ear.
That's all it is, though?
Yeah, Dinosaurus could do it. Robot can do it. It's the same thing that stopped Mark in the
I
other
don't think
dimension.
that-
So
If
think
that
about-
was it, think of the payoff. Think of the payout of the comic, of you reading it, of the reader reading it. I feel like
Better
that's
than the
not
Scourge virus.
big enough.
I think that they get there, and he has drones that you have a million Viltrumites that are trying to stop these drones. Meanwhile, they're incapacitated. Some of them are fighting it, and they have to take them out.
Sounds like
And
Iron
that-
Man 3 to me.
And then that allows,
Which was not a good
but that
movie.
allows lesser superheroes to come and fight as
That's
well.
what I
At the
mean.
same
like,
level?
Yeah.
a bunch of robots that we don't care about and don't like. There's no character
No, they're
to
gonna
them at
they're
all.
gonna
like,
the bunch of robots are gonna weaken all the Viltrumites, and then they're gonna rain down on Earth, and then all the other.
I mean,
superheroes
it is.
are-
You
It's
think
a
that-
plan.
you
I
think that-
don't think that that's it, and I kind of hope
That
it's
it
not.
almost humanizes the Viltrumites so that the other heroes can fight alongside.
Yeah, probably. And
Interesting.
they're that weak, so
Yeah.
I don't mean weak. I mean obviously they're destroying some coalition ships and stuff, so they're strong.
I feel like it doesn't play enough into the story of Invincible, though, of how they're going to end this major threat that's going to end the entire comic.
So you'd rather it end with
Just like a bunch of
the Scourge
yes,
virus?
because it's something that played a big part in the saga of Invincible.
And then what?
rather than just have robots has a bunch of robots.
Okay,
so we're
But
just
So
then,
gonna
then-
but
so
then,
then what?
but then
This is-
Mark
this
and
is part 4
Anissa,
of
Marky,
12.
they're all infected and die, and that's
I
it.
don't know. I think that there's more to it than just a bunch of robots with bombs on them.
Not bombs.
But that's
I know,
not what we're
but
saying. We're saying that
I know the signals. I know
Yeah.
what you mean, but like I don't know.
which is something that we've seen more than once. Literally, issue 50. That was the same thing that incapacitated him in issue 50. It's probably just as much as the Scourge. Dinosaurus used it. Robot used it multiple times.
Yeah, but that's not. I don't think that was a big part of the story. I would want
It's
it
his
to be
weakness. It's
what-
literally
you
his
think,
kryptonite.
okay, so you think that plays into the conversation that Eve had with Alan, with all of them saying, "But this time it's going to save lives." You think that plays into it? That adds
I don't
up?
know. I
It
think
doesn't
that-
add up.
I'm
I
excited
agree.
for. I'm
I
excited.
don't know how
yeah.
bringing them to Earth is going to save lives.
Yes,
It's not.
I'm excited
It's
for
not that.
us to be able to look back on all these issues and try and piece together, because I'm hoping all these things that they're saying will make sense, because it seems like a lot of it's very, what's the word I'm looking for?
Ambiguous.
Yeah.
I put money
intentionally.
on the fact that it's going to be. I would like. Can we do a bet?
On what?
So I think that it's going to be the Scourge virus is going to have something to do with their plan.
With Mark's plan.
With what Mark, Alan, and Eve were talking about. The thing that they keep addressing. And part of it now we know is going back to Earth. I think that plan is going to have to do with the Scourge virus. I'll bet that if you guys bet that it's your theory, the robots carrying the signals is part of their plan.
Well, robot is yes part of the plan directly.
Well, of course, robot is a part
Does
of
it
the plan.
have to be robot using the signal?
Signals, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So robot using the signal is part of Mark's plan, is what me and Bill are saying. And TJ, you're saying that it part of Mark's plan is the Scourge virus.
Yes, the Scourge virus will be addressed in there. It's a part of their plan. Yes,
Okay.
And pizza is the prize.
Loser has to buy pizza.
yes, but because it's 2-on-1, if you guys win, I buy you a pizza with just my own income. But if I win, you each have to buy me one pizza individually with your income,
For a consecutive weeks.
and I will eat
or
all of
or
it.
in one sitting, and you have to
Right,
eat
you
the
have to
whole
eat it all.
all pizza.
I will eat both pizzas in one sitting.
And if
in
you
front
don't,
of you.
and that was your bet, if you can eat
Bet.
both pizza.
You bet another pizza that I
By the
can't
way,
eat those pizzas.
by the way, we're absolutely gonna win because if you read the next on.
All right. So Bill, give us the next on, which I forgot. So that
All right,
wasn't really part of my bet.
Here's the next on. The End of All Things, Part 5. This issue has everything. Mark and Eve in peril, Alan's fleet chased by Thrag's forces, Terra learning to use her powers, Robot doing something, in parentheses, else evil. Did we mention Tether Tyrant? That's amazing. All this and Debbie Grayson momming the hell out of the cover.
Which is an awesome cover.
So it seems like next issue is going to have
Holy
a
shit,
lot
that's a lot.
in it.
Fucking Tether Tyrant.
Yeah.
So
I
we're going
love
back
it.
to Earth. So we're
So-
going back to Earth. We're going to
So
see
yeah,
Earth
I think
and
Earth,
Robot.
I think Earth is absolutely going to be prominent. I don't think it's going to be like, Earth
Don't
at the
tease
end
us
of
with
the
these
issue.
characters. Like I
Man,
want them
Tether
back.
Tyrant. Oh my god.
No,
Can you
I
imagine?
want the ones that I want the Guardians. I want to see
I
people
want to see
that we have
Powerplex.
not.
I want to see
Yeah.
little
Well,
guys.
yeah.
I want to see Bulletproof. What the hell is he
Tether
doing?
Tyrant is a big deal.
Powerplex would be fucking
Tether
awesome
Tyrant.
as part of
This
this.
whole time I've been picturing Tether Tyrant. He doesn't even look like that anymore. Holy crap! I forgot.
Didn't he go?
He mutated into that monster.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, I'm so excited.
If Powerplex was a part of the end, that would be amazing.
I just want to see all these random smaller characters fighting. So
I
Wolfman,
want to just
Tech
read.
Jacket
I just want to
will be
read the
a part of it.
end of the comment section. So it says, "A Return to Earth." This is Sean Makowitz,
editor.
editor-in-chief, saying,
Skybound.
"A Return to Earth and some familiar faces we haven't seen in some time. Oh man, so many familiar faces. Only 8 issues left." And then Kirkman says, "It's going to be great. Only 8 ? 200 is sounding better and better all the time. Ryan, call me."
Hey, guys, we're a third of the way through. We're already a third of the way through.
That actually makes
this
me
season.
feel better because I thought we were further through.
Really?
I feel like it's
I feel
flying.
it feels like we've
No,
read 2.
That's ironic.
Yeah, it feels like we're trudging through these, and I
Terra
think it's
learning to
because
use her
there were
powers?
only 4 new issues in the last year, and now it feels
Oh,
like
yeah.
we're getting like one every month. I feel like it's going too quick.
Yeah, I feel like it's going really fast, as it should. I'm excited. It's exciting. It's
By
so
no means does
exciting.
that mean delay the issues again. We want them each month.
No,
please.
one a month is perfect. Like, I
Yes.
feel like it's just the right
TJ,
amount.
you just fucking jinxed all of us, dude. If they start delaying because you were like, "Oh, one a month seems too fast,"
Do you know, like Invincible's gonna be over in like January.
let it end.
Let's read some emails.
You heard it from Bill Hake yourself. They were going to go to 200, and then Robert Kirkman just heard Bill say, "Let it end," and
was like, "You know what?
ruined all of our dreams.
You're right.
Aw.
Bill Hake is right.
Okay, let's do some emails, guys.
Here we go.
Bill, you have one.
I do. I've got one from Jordan Gilbert. It says, "Hey guys, I just want to say that this issue was pretty fucking sick. I've been missing the gore and violence from this comic. I gotta say, I didn't expect Thrag to really use all his children in this fight, as I was thinking he would join the fight and smash some heads, but I guess not. LMAO. Pretty fucking nuts that he has that many children. Wasn't expecting so many. So that dude was getting busy or banging the aliens, as we said, in the 5 years. I thought it was interesting how when they ran into Mark and Nolan, they just turned into gunk. That they were that weak, or Mark and Nolan are that strong? Question mark. This goes back to Eve making Mark stronger in 132. I noticed when he saw Eve in trouble, he went apeshit. Nice to see Alan fuck shit up as always. As for Tara, the poor girl saw her uncle get a hole punched in, and it's finally hitting her. I'm sure that'll be something that's touched on next issue. As for Ursula, I'm pretty sure at this point she's going to turn on Thrag pretty soon. I think we all agree on that, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And that mohawked kid of his from the first page of 135 is probably going to be the next Anin. Is he talking about the one that was flying away from...
Yeah, I think he was. Oh, no, he was talking about the one that Mark tackled and they held prisoner for questioning.
Oh,
We haven't seen him yet.
yeah, you're right. Whether he kills Ursula or not, I don't know. One of you called it earlier and said that he adopted the ways of killing the weak. Stoked for next issue. I'm thinking it's going to be a lot of fighting in space since Thrag is on their trail. That would be awesome. Could you imagine like that journey?
If they catch up a little bit.
And then having to do a fight,
See,
and
that's
then-
the thing. I think that think it's going to start with them arriving to Earth.
No, I think he's right. I think because it's 4 out of 12. There's a lot that's got to happen. It just can't be.
But they already said in the next on that we're going to get all those characters.
Yeah,
Robot
Mark
and all
and
them, you
Eve in
think-
peril. So there's probably gonna be a
Yeah,
fight.
maybe.
All right, he's not done. I'm predicting a death of a major character coming soon. Keep up all that you guys do. I enjoy even the non-invincible episodes. Love, Jordan. And then sorry for the long letter. That is quite all right.
I love that people are still writing love. That's the best.
Yeah, it is. Love you too, Jordan.
All right, I've got one. Oh, yeah. Thrag was popping out a lot of kids. Like, that's insane to think about. Like, Jordan kind of put that in perspective that, like, he fathered all of those kids.
every Viltrumite that you see is him having sex with an alien in a 5-year span. So
Wow.
how many? 300 and... So he had to have been doing it more than once a day.
You think that there's millions of those? You said millions.
That's insane.
I think there's millions. There's got to be at least a million.
I've got an email from Ben. Ben over at Nerds Chatting. Guys, Nerds Chatting has been awesome to us over on Twitter, so everybody should go check them out. They do a podcast, a lot of nerd culture stuff, a lot of TV, movies, comic books.
I actually checked out one of their episodes where
Did
they
you
did
listen
like
to the Bat Family casting?
No,
I thought
I
you'd
didn't
like
do that one. I listened to, not yet. I will. The one I listened to was like their five favorite superheroes.
Oh yeah,
And it was good. They're British too, so if nothing else, you get
they're
to listen
in the UK.
to a British
I don't know if
accent.
Oh
which
yeah,
I
they
love.
sound way cooler than us.
But the one thing that they like, obviously, I'm a huge Batman fan, and one thing that I always like hammer into all my friends' heads is something that there's kind of an inside joke among them is how good Batman Mask of the Phantasm is, and they always talk about like
Yeah.
how good it is. It's so fucking good.
You had me watch that a long time ago.
and it was what was funny about it is that after we watched it, you said like, I'm surprised that you liked that as a kid because it's very adult, not a lot of action, but the story is so good.
Yeah.
It's so fucking good.
Isn't there a lot of romance in that too?
There is
Like it takes a lot. Like that's the main story is his relationship with
Yeah,
whatever her
I
name
can't
is,
remember her name, but the villain, the Mask of Phantasm,
which is ironically
no spoilers. Go watch this movie. It's so good.
Yeah. So
Very adult.
Nerds Chatting. They're also doing a daily Invincible cover thing on Twitter. Great guys, check them out. So Ben said, "Hey guys, it's Ben from the Nerds Chatting podcast."
Wait, I'm
here.
sorry. Can you speak? Can you read this email in an English
I
accent?
cannot. I am not good.
Oh, cheerio.
Hello, cheerio. Hello, mates.
We're just sitting here in competency.
Incompetency,
Alright,
the
Governor.
Invincible podcast.
Podcast?
Podcast. That's how they say podcast.
That's not even what they sound like. It's so bad. Hey guys, it's Ben from the Nerds Chatting podcast here. Huge fan of Invincible. Sorry,
You mean the podcast?
podcast. Damn it, we can't do that. Hi guys, it's Ben from the Nerds Chatting podcast here. Huge fan of Invincible after our showrunner Nate forced me at threat of fist through the stomach to read the first trade. I then went out and bought 2 compendiums, several trades, and then single issues and caught up in 2 months. Love your show. I'm slowly working my way through your back catalog. Catalog spelled not how we spell it.
Is it L-O-U-G-E?
L-O-U.
Oh, there's
There's
a
the
fucking
U.
U in there.
Anyway, issue 136.
Like color.
Yeah. Issue 136. Wow, this was a page turner, right? I thought it was a fantastic issue, and we got the reveal that Mark's plan was to bring the fight back to Earth for the help of the Guardians of the Globe and Emperor Rexbot, which Emperor Rexbot is awesome. I like Rexbot. Is there more to the plan though?
Yes.
Yeah, there has to be.
Yeah,
we
there
don't know
is.
what, and it's exhausting trying to predict it because we're always wrong. Ben says, we'll see soon enough. I sort of wish that everything that's happened in the end of all things so far had occurred over a 6-issue arc called Beginning of the End or something. And then the end of all things started with Thrag's new Viltrumite Empire following Mark to Earth and having that as the 12-issue ending. Consider Mark fighting Conquest for 6 issues, or I think maybe 4, and Thrag and Battle Beast tearing each other to shreds, albeit in the background for like 6 issues. The end of all things could have been a 12-issue slugfest of epic proportions.
That's what I'm thinking it's going to be.
From now on, you think it's going to be that?
Yeah, not what with the last with Jordan, what he was saying, how there's going to be like fights in between.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Ben says, anyway, I love the comic, love your podcast. Can't wait to read more, but I don't want it to end. Can't wait to hear your thoughts. Would love to come on sometime. Speak soon, guys. Ben.
Okay. First of all, he said love.
Oh, sorry. Love.
Did
Ben.
he?
No.
Oh, Ben.
It's okay.
I mean, Bin.
I
No,
don't
wait,
even
what was
think
that?
that's close.
Bin. Hello, Bin.
I think that's Cockney. Like, I don't even
Hello,
think that's
Ben.
close.
Ben? Did you say Ben?
It's probably just Ben.
Anyways, we need to have him on the podcast.
Yeah,
because everybody wants
you
to
guys
hear.
Need to see
yeah.
them on the
Yeah.
podcast.
You guys are welcome anytime. So we'll figure that out. But I don't know. Here's what I think about the end of this. Like, I don't think we're gonna get a constant fighting for the rest of the series. I want big issues like what we just had, but I mean 1 or 2, maybe 3. But there's so much more I want.
But it was
to wrap up. Like, I don't want them to tell the entire thing through a fight scene.
But a fight saying.
Fight scene.
I disagree. I think that there's going to be a lot of story, but there's still going to be fighting in every
There's
single
gonna be a
issue
ton
now.
of fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but think about little things like Bulletproof. Remember, he was like burned half of them, and I don't know,
Done.
like
That's done.
Monax. What's Monster Go and Robots' relationship?
Nah.
I mean, these are just things off the top of my head. There's a lot. I don't know.
That can
Maybe.
be covered. That can be covered in
You
one
think it's
page.
gonna be all story from
No,
here for the
here's
next
what I
8
think.
issues?
I think the next issue, they're gonna get to Earth, scramble, say there's an army right behind us, robot. Like, we need help. This is what's happening, or the rest of Mark's plan's gonna come out. And then the next 2 issues after that will be Slugfest.
I think
but then here's
Robot already knows about
them
them
coming. Do you think they
Absolutely.
informed them?
Nolan is with them. Is in
Yeah, I
contact
think
with
they're-
his.
No, well,
they're-
first of all,
they're part
Nolan-
the plan. They know.
Didn't know they were going to Earth. He's the one that said, "Where are we taking
Oh
this?"
yeah, what for? Oh, do you think there's going to be some infighting? Like,
So
like,
here's
like we
Nolan,
can't do
Nolan
that?
Maybe.
didn't know before. Like, I mean, Mark, Eve, and Alan all knew.
Yeah,
You don't think that
they kept
reached
Nolan
out?
out of this.
You don't think that they reached out?
Oh,
to her?
maybe, but then they didn't reach
Why
back
wouldn't
out
they?
to Robot. Didn't reach out to Nolan. Maybe
Maybe.
because they know that Nolan is
Nolan's
friends
going to
with.
stop it.
Yeah. Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay. Now here's the other thing.
Why do we have to be wrong about everything?
Here's the other thing, and I thought of this, and I don't want to get too into this. is the fight with Robot over?
Mark,
I think
you're
so.
talking
I
about-
think there's still some animosity there.
If right now, like, and we talked about this on the New Reader Volume 10, Robot made the world a better place. He's been ruling it for over 6 years now, and we've got a little bit of that during the Cory Walker arc.
He's gonna
like,
do something evil in the next
Yeah,
issue.
the next
though.
issue
but
says
that's
evil.
the thing. I was just about to say, the next time on kind of teased that Robot doing something evil. Again, that could just be Robert, teasing nothing.
What if this happens?
But what
Oh
if
my gosh.
what if there is no fight with Robot? What if this is the big fight? Because a lot of people online and talking about this think that there's this big Thrag fight, and then once that's wrapped up, then there's a Robot fight.
That's what I think. That's happening
Like,
online.
is that
People
the
are talking
last?
about that.
Well, that's kind of the
you
general
imagine
theme.
it
Like,
if
this
Robot-
is 12 issues long. What if the first 6 are Thrag and the last 6 are Robot? What if Thrag is dead in 3 issues?
That's what I just thought. What if Robot helps with the plan, destroys it, and then he's like, oh, guess what? The Earth is not safe with any Viltrumites
But
out
they
there.
keep
and
talking
now
about
he
like
takes them out.
how like Kirkman keeps talking or always talked in the past about how like how people would complain about Robot and like I want an end to this, and he's like it's not really like that. Like that's not really the direction we're going. in. It doesn't need a resolution.
I would bet.
I'd be
you know
fine
what?
with
Another bet.
Robot.
Bet part 2.
Oh boy, I don't know. What is it?
My bet is that is actually what's going to happen in the next few issues. This End of All Things is going to end with a robot with a robot, a Rexbot, Captain Rexbot,
Emperor
Rexbot fighting. And maybe even the Guardians are like on his side. Like they're like, oh yeah, we can't have Ultramites like around and fighting.
And then there's like
there's
Civil War
so
again.
many. There's so much death that so many people could die, and it's people fighting against people who care about those people that they're
honestly,
fighting against.
I want that, but here's the thing. I want there to be that because that incorporates so many characters that we love on Earth, rather than just all the characters we love on Earth fighting these faceless, nameless Viltrumites. But the thing is, I'd be fine if this series ends and Earth is in good hands.
What about this though?
Of Robot.
All right. Would you rather this comic end what if the big bad? All right, you have a choice. You have a choice between Thrag and Robot. Which one would now think about all the side stories and everything like? Which one would you be more emotionally invested in if it would have happened?
Definitely Robot.
There you go.
But I think that it's going to be. But no, I'm not going to say I think it's going to be Thrag. I'd be okay if it was Thrag. I'd be okay if Robot. They don't fight Robot.
I have never, and I don't know if I've ever.
I want them to.
I don't know if I've ever talked about this on the podcast before, but when they announced the End of All Things and it was this arc, like Thrag was the big bad, I'm like, oh, I don't really like that. Like, I don't even really remember Thrag being like the most memorable character. You know what I mean?
Thrag has been the most consistent villain. I mean, he
represents
when did he
Viltrum.
start? Like
He
started
represents-
Yeah, I guess so. But
he's
but
been
to my
in it
point,
for like half the series.
okay, TJ. So you have the same thing. You have the option of having Thrag or Robot being the big bad.
I agree with what that is.
So
but
I think we're on the same
what-
page.
no,
We can see it being Thrag, but
we're
it'd be
saying
cool if it was Robot.
That sure we would prefer him fighting Robot. But that doesn't mean that it's bad if it's not.
Exactly.
You're saying that you're like, oh,
No,
well, that
no.
kind of. You said you were like when it's End of All Things. That kind of
When they
sucks.
announced it,
I don't think
yeah,
that.
that was my initial reaction.
But if you're asking me, saying that I would prefer Rex doesn't mean I'm agreeing with you that I disagree that it should be Thrag.
But Kirkman is as in love with all, like if I were like Kirkman, Mr. Kirkman, you can choose to finish your story, but you have to decide who's the big bad. Is it Thrag or is it Robot? He would pick
say,
Robot.
"Get the fuck out of my office, bitch. Who the fuck are you?"
I think Kirkman would say both, and I think that's what's going to happen. We're going to get a little bit of both. So we still have so much more to do.
I mean, they're obviously both in this
hope.
arc, no matter what.
Yeah.
So
TJ, you got a couple messages or a message?
Yeah, I have a message from James Kelly who messaged us on Facebook. He says, "Hey, Invincible Podcast, been loving the show since I first stumbled on it at work. Such a great podcast. Love the new reader episodes and your analysis of current issues. I got into Invincible through the trades and was kind of not liking reading it monthly because of the great cliffhangers. But I gotta say, even though this issue was essentially just some glorious fights, I loved every page of it. This was fantastic. I loved the final twist for the main plan. I think going back to Earth is smart given Robot's army of drones, which supports
Oh,
Storm
shit.
King.
we didn't read this. We didn't read this before TJ read it, so
I read it, yeah.
it was my theory first.
Also, speaking about Robot, if I could write the Invincible movie pitch, this is what it would be. The movie is and I love this pitch, by the way. I support this 100%.
So open up your fucking ears, everyone. I'm sorry, that was rude.
Yeah, wow.
I'm sorry.
Is it okay with you if I continue?
Ryan, do you think that it's okay if TJ were to continue this?
The movie is essentially the first 3 volumes, with the movie opening to Nolan explaining to a young Mark what the Viltrumites are. From there, it would be a fun teen comedy mixed with a superhero movie, with Mark noticing and supposedly saving his classmate Eve, only for her to reveal she is the superheroine Adam Eve. Mm-hmm. Eve would have Mark meet the teen team, which includes Robot, Rexplode, Duplicate, and Monster Girl. The movie, at its heart, would be a father-son story, with Mark worshipping his father until halfway through when Nolan kills the Guardians on screen. From there, Nolan and Mark would have a fight like Man of Steel, only Nolan and Mark would comment throughout it that they are killing hundreds of people by going through the buildings. My one twist for you guys on this pitch is in a mid-credit scene, Robot suddenly releases the Mauler twins, offering them a job. Fun little post-credit scene is the garbage landing in London. Main point is that the movie could include a little setup for Robot becoming the Rex clone, and if the movies get the sequels we all want, I could envision a spin-off movie of Robot and Monster Girl on the in the Zaxxle dimension, which would lead into an Invincible movie of Robot taking over the world. Always sorry for the long comment. Keep up the great work. Love, James, Olympian Comics.
Thanks, James.
First of all, great pitch. You were right. I hope everyone was listening and stopped what they were doing.
I think I agree with that 100%. I think it's a lot like what we kind of talked about a little bit, the general,
That one seemed a little bit more lighthearted than like the
which
tone
I think we have to be
thinking
prepared
about.
for, especially with Seth Rogen, for it to be a little bit more.
I think that almost it should be, though.
That reminds me
You know
about
what I mean?
something. Have you guys heard of the Fire Festival?
Yeah.
It was like a disaster that happened. Like, it was supposed to be like some huge concert.
Kind of funny to think about it.
Yeah, so it was like they have their pictures of it online. They were supposed to get served like gourmet meals. It was canceled like the day before, but everybody was already there, and it was like it was a disaster. Like the government got involved and everything.
Research it. Watch some videos. It's fascinating.
Anyways, after all that happened, Seth Rogen picked up the movie rights for it.
Yeah. I think he just
Which
grabs
makes me
rights.
a little nervous.
That he might jump on that
I read that
sooner.
too. That
Not only that, but is he just like collecting movie rights just in case? Like is he gonna? I hope he makes
hope
this
not.
movie, and I
Yeah,
hope he
I know.
doesn't delay it because of this Fire Festival movie.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I think that here's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that Invincible is a little further along than we expect, and he got the rights to that Fire Festival movie, and he can do more than one. Think of when movies come out, he's running a studio like
Yeah,
his
but I
own
want
company.
his focus.
I know, but he's also got David or his partner
Evan Goldsberg.
Evan
Goldberg,
Goldsberg.
Goldberg.
Yeah. So I know. I thought the same thing. I was a little nervous about that, but we'll see. Mike Barrett on Twitter said thoughts on the Universal Pictures Dark Universe that was announced today.
There was a
Does
trailer.
this
I
bode
didn't
well
see
for
it.
the upcoming Invincible universe? They announced that Johnny Depp is the Invisible Man. Russell Crowe is Dr. Jekyll. A couple other ones. Javier Bardem is Frankenstein.
Who's that?
No Country for Old Men. He's
He's
perfect
the
for
main
Frankenstein.
villain.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. That they announced that the next one is going to be Bride of Frankenstein, their next movie. That whole universe. I don't know if that really impacts. I mean, I think that
We've
maybe
known
Universal.
about this for a long time.
I mean,
but
it shows that Universal
that
is
was
all for
coming.
doing universes. You know what I mean? So that might be a good thing. So if
is
Invincible
trying
Six,
to be their
Capitalizing
thing.
on their franchises, yeah.
yeah, so that might bode well. So, also, Who Asked You on Twitter said that he thought the issue 136 was good, solid art as always. Wish there were a few more punches thrown, lots of blood, but wanted more action. Still cool. Can't imagine there being more action in
I
that
can't.
issue.
How would
But
you
it was-
put more action into that comic?
But it was awesome. I love that issue. Final thoughts on that issue? Like, holy shit, Ryan Otley. It was great.
Ryan Otley,
best
I'm
issue in a
still,
long
Fucking
time.
crushed it.
Yeah, best
Crushed it.
issue in for a long time. I'm still a little unsure story wise what's going on. I think we're supposed to, but I'm kind of reaching that point where
Are you
kind of need
frustrated?
something. I'm a little
Yeah.
frustrated
Yeah, me
because
too.
it's like this isn't normal Invincible storytelling. You know what I mean? Like
It's like pulling us.
It's-
It's
it's-
like pulling us
yeah.
through it a little bit.
and I want there to be a payoff. And,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I mean, I want there to be a payoff. That's
Yeah,
all.
every other single Invincible issue has had like an emotional impact,
Mm-hmm.
like that happened in it. Like that's just the way the writing worked. Like it would.
And this one
you
had
know.
it because of the action, not necessarily because the the
Yeah,
story,
but
the
it
whole
never
plan.
really, it never really had like a you know what? We have never not known what Mark was thinking or about to do, and he's like keeping the secret from us. And I'm like,
Yeah,
just
and it's
fucking
weird
tell
for
us
this
what's
long,
going
yeah.
on. Yeah, like
It is weird. But yeah, and that's a small thing. Again, this is one of the best issues in a really long time. I loved it. I thought it was amazing.
I just want to know about Speed Racer or Space Racer.
that's
Just wanna
weird
know.
because they talked about. In the last, Liz said in the new issue or the new
Racer.
reader that she every time that she says Space
Oh, yeah.
Racer, she thinks
She thinks
Speed
of
Racer.
Speed Racer.
Yeah.
I want to know why he's alive.
Yeah,
And I thought for
that
sure we were
might
going
be
to get the
something we.
answer.
I feel
I
like
thought
at this
for
point,
sure we would get
I got mad when he said something. I'm like,
Yeah.
you shut your fucking mouth unless you're going to tell
Yeah.
us what's going on.
I give up. I'm.
He's got to
I'm-
be evil at this point.
No, I'm abandoning
He has
it.
to be.
I give up. I officially no longer think it's going to be
I
addressed.
think he's on Threg's side. I think he's I think he's
Part three?
I'd be happy with it, but I no longer. I'm
Part
giving.
3 bet?
I'm giving up the dream. So no,
Do
Yeah,
you
I'm
think that they're
I'm
not
putting
going to
on
touch on it at
I
all?
think they're
Yeah,
not
I
going to touch
agree
on
with
it.
Ryan. I
You
think
both-
This was the
They're not
last
gonna
chance
touch
for
on
me.
because he's talking. He has an opportunity to. They gave Space Racer dialogue, and it wasn't explaining what the fuck happened.
Like he was killing Viltrumites, he was shooting. I mean, I don't know.
The dialogue that they chose to give him was, "I've been monitoring their planet, and they're following us, everyone." And everyone's
know.
just kind of looking at him like, "Did you know he was?"
I feel like
here?"
I would almost take that bet that they're going to. I feel like I would
that
take that
something
bet.
more is going on. We're
That
gonna have
they're
to
gonna
keep
explain it
We're gonna have to keep a list of
eventually.
all the bets we have.
All right, so someone, I guess.
We'll figure it out.
What was my bet?
See, that's why
Oh,
we
that
need a list.
robot's going to be the big bad, or that they both are.
No, it's going to be the drones with the signals.
That was the first one. My part 2 or part B was that that Thrag's going to die.
Yeah, but I wouldn't make
Before
that
the
bet.
end.
Oh,
And then Robot.
we didn't confirm that.
No, we did confirm it.
No, that's
It's
not
been
confirmed.
confirmed.
Oh boy. Let's go now to our interview. All right, so we're back with Corey Puga, an Invincible fan just like you guys, and we decided to sit down and talk about a few things. So, Corey, want to start with pretty much what I always start off with, like what got you into Invincible?
So I actually have been reading it since the first issue.
The first one that we've
first
talked
issue?
to. You're the first one that we've talked to.
Yep. Big Image fan since they first started with Spawn and Savage Dragon and all that. So when the first one came out, gave it a shot and been reading it ever since. I kind of went through a period where I got a little jaded on some of those older titles, the Savage Dragons, the Spawn, that kind of thing. And for some reason, Invincible just kind of got lumped in there. And I was just skimming it for probably a couple of years and not paying a whole lot of attention to it. And then the Conquest arc came out. And, I kind of knew what was going on, but they're talking about how strong Invincible was, and it's just this brutal fight. And then, Eve gets up off the hospital bed to go help out, and she gets impaled. And I'm just like, whoa, they just killed the co-lead love interest. That's crazy. And then, I started paying more attention to the art, and it looked so awesome. And I was like, man, I don't know why I haven't been paying more attention to this book the last few years. And so I went back and bought all the trades and all the hardcovers and stuff to reread them, and just got kind of obsessed.
Oh shit! So you were like a casual reader at first. You like read an issue here and there, kind of thing.
I was into it to start with, just to see what was going on, and then it was really just skimming it. I was buying it and skimming it, and then I actually share comics with my dad, so I was shipping it to him in a different state. He reads them and stores them, so I didn't have access to them after I kind of realized that I was missing out.
Oh no!
And that's why I went back, bought all the trades, all the hardcovers, and just ended up getting kind of crazy into it.
I like how your story's a lot different, because a lot of people we talk to kind of start reading it pretty close to Conquest, and then Conquest kind of drills home like why they're reading it, whereas you started from the beginning and kind of went through the paces. You kind of got into it, and then kind of just got a little, moved on a little bit from it, and then Conquest reeled you back in. But I don't know, that was kind of cool.
Exactly. I think a lot of people got into it kind of when The Walking Dead got popular and Kirkman's name got out there.
Yep.
So that was already kind of well into the run.
Cool.
Who's your favorite character in the entire series? If you had to choose one.
If I had to choose one, probably Invincible himself. But probably my biggest thing is I'm a big fan of the Mark and Eve relationship.
Right.
So all the original art and stuff I buy is generally scenes with the two of them.
Cool.
I try to get things that are kind of significant to them. I've got the page with the proposal and
oh, that's awesome.
The first scene with Mark and Eve with Tara when she's just a baby. Yeah.
Is your wife okay with your Eve obsession and you playing it off as the relationship thing?
Well, she came into it kind of in the middle of the obsession, so I think she just kind of had to roll with it.
Is she reading it too, or does she read anything? Is she into comic books, or is it just like kind of your thing?
No, she doesn't really read comic books, but I've had her reading some of the latest issues, and she says she wants to go back and reread from the beginning just to see why I'm so crazy about it.
Yeah. That's awesome. What are your thoughts on what's currently going on with the end and everything?
Well, disappointed, obviously. I mean, I thought this was going to be something that ran for a long time, and I don't know if I want anybody but Kirkman to write it, but it sounded like for a long time he was going to let somebody else take the reins when he was done with it. But, I'm cautiously optimistic that it'll have a solid ending, and, there's almost 150 issues of story there that you can always go back and read and enjoy. Yeah. That's not going to take away from it, but I wish it was still going. I wish we had all the spinoff titles still.
Yeah, I know.
The Invincible Universe and the Brit, and
there's just such good side characters, and such a vast universe of characters, and I really hope they do it justice. And we talked about that a little bit at the end of this episode, where it's teased that next episode or next issue they're going back to Earth, and we're going to see Tether Tyrant, we're going to see Robot, so that's exciting.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's so many characters. It's hard to imagine how they're going to wrap this up and give everybody a little bit of space and story.
Yeah.
Deserved, anyways. Well deserved, because not everybody deserves an ending in the universe, but not everybody's going to get it, unfortunately.
That's why I was saying that I part of me doesn't really want them to have, several issues where it's just fight scenes. Like, they can't do 3-4 issues in a row of just crazy fight scenes like Conquest, because that's precious time that I feel like they could devote to this universe and this character building.
What are your thoughts on the big plan?
What do you think it is? So they're going to Earth. What's the plan?
My thought is just that he's doing that to threaten Earth and get the other Viltrumites to join in the fight. Nolan didn't think he could. Yeah, Nolan didn't think he could order them to leave their new families and go fight a war. So I think this is going to force their hand and make them join the fight.
Nolan also, did you notice that Nolan didn't know that they were going back to Earth? Because he said, where's this stronghold that you're leading them back to?
Yeah, exactly.
So, when Mark got Nolan, when he convinced him to join the fight, Nolan said, I don't know, I'll do what I can. He kind of said, hey, I'll try, but some of them have families and so on. Do you think that Mark went over Nolan's head and said, hey, we're going to threaten them and force them to fight? Is that kind of what you're thinking? That's interesting.
That's what I think, and it's kind of surprising to me because Mark's first priority was always protecting Earth and keeping all this away from it. And so I'm a little shocked that he's actually taking the fight to Earth and putting everybody on that planet in danger.
Right, we felt the same way.
Yeah, again, though, like Ellen said to Eve, it's not how they work anymore. It's almost like they don't care. They're
being
taking
a hero
chances.
is bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. He's willing to take chances he wasn't before now.
Yeah.
And it just, with the numbers of Thrag's offspring, it seems like they have to have those other reinforcements to really make it an even fight.
Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on Robot? do you think he is going to, like, ultimately, is he evil? Is he going to be a big bad in the end of this? Or do you think that, it's ultimately just going to be the fight with Thrag?
And that's how it ends with Thrag.
I think the showdown with Robot actually comes after Thrag. I think they'll beat Thrag, and then there's going to be some kind of conclusion with the whole Robot storyline.
I think that's
Which is-
more.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm never not quite sure whether I think he's evil or not.
Right?
He's clearly doing good things for the planet, but then it's hard to forgive the fact that before he even gave anybody a choice, he killed Cecil, he killed a bunch of the Guardians and a bunch of heroes without even, giving them a chance to work with him.
Yeah. What was I going to say? I kind of like the idea that, Thrag isn't the big bad. Like, he might be gone soon, and we have this whole side of the end of all things that we haven't even touched on yet, because these last few issues have been all about Mark's plan and dealing with Thrag and dealing with the Viltrumites, and maybe that's why it's been so focused on all of them, because they might not be a factor soon.
Misdirection.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird because I didn't even think of that at all. I thought, to the end, Thrag's going to be like the big
main
bag.
one.
And then we started talking about it, and then Ryan said that people on Twitter and on the
Or
internet
just everywhere in general. Like, I feel
are
like
saying Robot's going to
saying
be
it's
another
gonna be
villain.
a-
And then you
yeah.
just said it. So I think it's a much more common idea
Yeah.
than I originally had thought, because I didn't even think about it now. But it seems so obvious now.
Yeah.
Like, it seems so obvious.
it's exciting. I mean, it's cool. I mean, like we were saying before, we're a third of the way through. So, is there any specific? Go ahead.
Boy, and you never know with Kirkman. I mean, everybody's throwing theories out there, and it's hard to predict what he's going to do.
They're always
even when
wrong.
it looks like he's telegraphing it, there's always some kind of weird twist to it that you didn't see coming.
And I think that's part of the fun of doing this podcast is like we've been reading Kirkman for a while now, and we feel like, oh, this is what other people would do, and then this is what Kirkman would do, and that's what we think will happen. And then what it ends up being is the thing that Kirkman actually does. So he has a way of telegraphing what he would do, but what he's not going to end up doing. So I kind of like,
We're always wrong.
We're always wrong.
We are
and
always wrong.
It's hard to predict, but it's still fun.
Because, he's
To sit
we're-
here and try and pick it apart.
we're right
and
about
be the
him.
ones to be right.
we're right about him going back to Earth, but we don't know what's going to happen after that. Like, we could guess until we're blue in the face, but we're always
Yeah.
going to be wrong, no matter what.
If you think, what is like the person on the top of your list that is definitely going to die? Like, what major character do you think is going down?
Do you think next issue this is going to happen?
Oh no, I'm saying in general. In the end of all things,
So
like, what is like the one that you would put money on?
Well, I don't know if you guys are you doing the contest on Facebook
I
where
am.
you scored who you thought was going to die.
Yeah.
I think I gave my almost certainty to Nolan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's got
well-
to be.
Other than the villains, out of all the heroes, I think Nolan is the most likely to die.
I think we all agree on that.
I think an amazing. Again, this probably isn't going to happen, but I feel like a Kirkman thing to do would be to end an issue with Robot killing Nolan, because he's kind of. We've talked before about how Nolan has kind of put a lot of faith in Robot, and they've become friends and close together. And
They're
everything
close
like that.
friends.
And I think that would destroy Mark if Robot killed Nolan, and then that would make him the villain that we're talking about.
This all excites me because I was only thinking that
But again,
Thrag would kill Nolan and
No, but
not
again,
Robot.
like this, it's not going to be what we think.
Can I ask you a question? What would you guys do?
Yeah.
What would you think if Tara died? What would you think
They're
if
not gonna
Tara
kill
died?
Tara.
Why not? And then what if Mark through his and Eve died? What if Tara and Eve die, and then through his grief he adopts Marky as his own son? Wouldn't that be that? I mean, he's got to be in the story. He
I
has
keep
to
forgetting
be.
about Marky.
Yeah, I mean that would just be a super dark turn.
Right?
I mean, Tara's been such a lovable character since they introduced her, and it's hard for me to embrace kind of the offspring of the rape that he went through, even though it's not the kid's fault. The kid's not bad or anything, but just to embrace something that came about after such a heinous act that would be hard. That would be dark.
Especially in replacement of Tara,
Kirkman said that Tara is his favorite character. I don't know if that's good for her or bad for her.
It's so bad. It's so bad. He's had years
They're
to.
not gonna kill her.
They could. Why
He's not
not?
gonna kill her off.
Oh well. Bet number
I think
4.
that would almost be like Corey is saying. I think it's almost too dark of a turn. Like kind of unnecessary.
Well, speaking of that, and we talk about this a lot in the New Reader episodes. A lot of Invincible, the entire series, is kind of about how Mark might be inherently bad, and how all the other versions of him are bad, and how there's this side of him and everything like that. That's ultimately the reason why Robot left him in that other dimension when, in 109 or whatever, or 111, sorry. No, it was 108.
It was 107.
107. Thank you. Jeez. Yeah. Anyways, are we going to get to see some of that? Are we going to get to see some dark Mark, some dark evil Mark before the end? Like, is he going to get a little bit closer to that edge before the end? Like, they've teased it so much.
Well, yeah, I think if you see something like that happen, as if Eve dies or if Tara dies, I certainly think that's possible. Yeah. I mean, he could just go nuts.
That's the only thing keeping him grounded and giving him any kind of humility is his family. Because, I mean, think about Mark Unleashed, where he has nothing to lose.
Well, think about, like, if being a hero was bullshit, then what is striving? Why does he care about anything? You know what I mean? Why is he a part of this world if
His
he
family.
doesn't care his family?
Right.
That's really it.
You're saying, what is it? What, he doesn't care about anything?
He doesn't
Would
care
you
about
say
people
that-
anymore.
would
Like,
you
I mean, not that he doesn't care about people. It's just like
would you say that he has
he's
the
done being a
potential
hero.
to bring about the end of all things?
No, I don't. I think that
It
he's.
could be that catalyst.
I don't think that he's going to cause it.
There's
but,
so many new theories. Can't it just be simple? Can't he just fight Thrag and it end? No.
But it's really just his family, and if something happens to his family, he's gonna flip out.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot.
I have some questions.
Because
Oh, go ahead.
he really doesn't have too many other close human friends outside of his family. I think there's Art,
You're right.
and then Robot betrayed him, and
William.
pretty
There's
much,
William.
yeah, there's William, but most of the other Guardians were more acquaintances and stuff than actual friends. So he doesn't have much tying in there.
Ryan, you look distraught.
I just pictured them going back to see Art, and it's been 6 years, and Art was an old guy.
He's not.
I'd be
He's
nervous.
not old.
I'd be nervous
No.
if he was gone. I don't want Art
Oh,
to
it's-
die.
That's going to be terrible. I feel so bad for him. They always leave without saying goodbye to him.
I
And
know. The last thing we see is him walking
he always
away.
walks away so dejected.
Oh,
What if he's the sole survivor of all of it?
no,
He's just
I-
like him looking around with his head, with his shoulders.
I hope we get to see more Art. I'm so excited for next issue. I might be more excited for next issue than I was for this issue, just at the sheer promise of side characters on Earth. Again, kind
It's
of
going back to
that.
like what was it, issue 130, where they said that they were finally going back to Earth, and we were like, what's happened since the last time we
But
seen
he
them?
really kind of only talked to
Yeah.
Rex and
Yeah,
Lex.
yeah. It was
Robot
only
a little
like
bit, and
one
then that was
scene.
it.
Yeah.
What did you said you had some?
Oh,
you had
when
some
did you? So when did you start listening to the podcast?
It was early. I don't remember where I saw it, if it was on Twitter or Facebook or.
Yeah,
but
we
I've
kinda early
been
on
on board
this.
pretty much since your first couple episodes.
Cool.
And,
That was,
That was
just,
your
just
question.
out of curiosity. Just
Yeah, well, I know for sure that I caught the first New Reader episode,
of course you did.
so
Bill's a little
It's,
jealous of the new readers.
Yeah, everybody loves them. I love them too. I listen to those like the fans do.
Yeah, those are a lot of fun. And I'm kind of
yeah,
sad.
it's always fun to get somebody's perspective on it that hasn't read it before.
I loved on the most.
Did you?
recent
Yeah.
one,
Did you read the new one, or did you listen to the new one?
I have, yeah.
I loved
with
that
Brittany?
Brittany didn't realize that it was Battle Beast
Oh.
until the end. Like on the air, she realizes.
Yeah,
it.
she's like, that's Battle Beast.
Yeah, and then she was just amazed. She's like, "Oh, that's so fucked up."
Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah, I mean, you saw them upset about a few different things during that podcast, so it was
Yeah,
nice to see.
that's-
There's definitely an emotional attachment there now.
From the day I thought of that and having them do this, I was like kind of eagerly anticipating issue 110 just because I knew it would be a big discussion, and we'd probably spend more time talking about that one issue than any other issue in the history of the New Reader series because of the rape issue. I mean, the topic of that, and I loved the fact that like one of the girls hated it and one of the girls was totally okay with it.
I feel like that's the direct. That's
I mean, that was perfect that we had that much to talk about, and you know,
I don't remember what you guys like. You liked it?
I was okay with it.
I
remember-
hated it.
Yeah, I said that
It was the
podcast.
biggest thing. Did you? I haven't listened to it yet.
Yeah, I mentioned that you
It was
didn't like it.
it was the biggest, my biggest thing that I didn't like, or like the only thing that I could say that I hated in the entire series. I did not like it at all.
Yeah, it was an interesting conversation. It was fun, but like you're saying, Corey, it's fun to talk to the, you know, people who have never read it before. And it's going to be awesome to talk to people who have seen the movie and never read the comic to see what they think of it. And it's going to be that whole thing again, similar to Walking Dead now. It's like, oh yeah, but you should read the comic, you know?
Yeah.
Do you have, what are your hopes for the movie? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm super excited. First off, it's just, you know, it's kind of a validation as a longtime fan that this series, it's kind of had this cult following where we really get into it, but kind of people outside the comic world have never even heard of it. So to get that validation that it's going to get out there to the masses is kind of nice. But, you know, then I'm worried, is it going to be good? Is it going to, you know, be truthful to the source material? And, you know, you don't want that to be the representation to the wider public that this is what this comic's all about.
Yeah, I think the fact that it's coming out in this day and age, it has a better shot than ever. If it had come out even 5-10 years ago, you know, I think that was before studios and directors and the writers in Hollywood actually appreciated the source material and the fans, and like kind of like doing fan service wasn't really a thing, I feel like, in Hollywood until recently, relatively recently, especially with everything that Marvel's been doing. So I feel like it has a chance, and I'm excited. I'm, you know, hopeful. So
yeah, the other part I'm excited about is that means that we're going to get more merchandise at least.
Oh my gosh, so
yes,
much.
that's so exciting.
We're gonna get a ton of merchandise. The merchandise you want and the merchandise you don't want.
Exactly. Because I was just about to say, like, we're big. Well, at least Katie and I know you, TJ, we're big Disney fans, and my wife loves Beauty and the Beast. So yeah, there's a lot of Beauty and the Beast merch out there. But hopefully you like Emma Watson, because that's what it looks like. You know what I mean? So hopefully it's the merch that we want. Hopefully it's, you know, stuff that's still, you know, representative of the comic too. So I don't know.
Did you do the casting?
I didn't do my own.
No.
Who
do you
my big
most agree with
thing is
as far as like who should play Mark?
I saw one recently. I can't think of the actor's name. He's on, boy, I can't even think of it. But I did see a movie with Dylan O'Brien in it recently, and somebody had picked him, and I thought he was a pretty good choice.
I think he's an awesome choice. I think
Who's
he's
Dylan
awesome.
O'Brien?
He did the Torch Trials, the book, those books.
Yeah, the
Maze
Maze
Runner?
Runner.
Yeah, he was on Maze Runner. And I
Was he
think
the
would be
main
aw-
guy in
yeah,
Maze
he was
Runner?
the main guy.
Oh, he would be a good
He
pick.
would be awesome.
Interesting.
Wow, he got hurt on that movie, didn't he? On the last one?
Yeah.
Didn't they
He
like?
was the one that hurt his leg or something.
Yeah, he almost like
He
died or something.
Broke his leg.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, cool.
So-
Anything else you want to bring up before we wrap this up?
Questions for us? Thoughts? Comments?
Are you guys going to keep this going through the movie and everything?
That's a great
once the series is done?
I hope so. So obviously, right now we're kind of at the point where new readers are wrapping up. They're almost caught up. We have a lot more tie-ins we want to talk about. We want to finish Brit, Wolfman, Guarding the Globe, Invincible Universe.
Tech Jacket.
Obviously, there's going to be a new issue every month, and we only release bi-weekly. I mean, if we released weekly, I don't know what we would do. But I think that we obviously have enough material to get to roughly December, because that's when the final issue comes out. At that point, I mean,
It's
hopefully
gonna be a
by
conversation,
then,
for
hopefully
sure.
at that point we're going to have more info on the movie.
Trailer. Teaser.
I don't know
something.
if we've got at least 6-8 months to decide, and things can change. You know, maybe we're going to want to talk about other comics more, maybe do some other stuff in the meantime. But I feel like because of the movie, I mean, there's probably going to be a video game soon. You know, we've been hearing rumblings of that. Like, there's a lot of stuff out there. Who knows? Maybe we will get some sort of spin-off. I think things are going to be different. I think if you were to ask us the same question in 4 months, we might have a better idea. In 6 months, we'll have a completely different one. But yes, I would love to keep talking about Invincible long after the movie comes out. I can't wait to talk about the first trailer that drops, the soundtrack. We'll do a commentary for the movie. Like, I'm so excited. I just hope that there's not just a complete drought from the final issue of Invincible for a year and a half until the movie. You know what I mean? So, depending on that, we'll see.
I think even then we'll find something to talk about in Invincible. Like there's so much content and potential content. Yeah.
Like, just thinking about the fact that you guys never get to talk about the past issues, other than when it's relevant in a new issue. So maybe we revisit old issues again in some form. So, yeah.
Well, great. You guys keep putting them out. I'll keep listening.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much for coming on the episode, too. This was fun.
Hey, yeah. Thanks for the conversation, guys.
Yep.
Thanks, Corey.
I just want to say, remember, you can find us all on Twitter, Facebook. Email us at theinvinciblepodcast@gmail.com. Anything else? Is that about it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
People more than anybody in life.
No.
In life. You just interrupted me.
I know, that's why I did it. I was being ironic. I'm Captain
Oh, were you?
Irony.